Very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to all of you, our students, both in the room, online, faculty members, staff members, and friends and supporters of Imperial. Welcome to the annual President's Address. A safety announcement first. I'm told that there is no particular alarm today, no fire test planned, but in case you hear something, it's therefore genuine, and please leave the hall and make your way to the corner of Imperial College Road and Exhibition Road, which is the formal assembly point. I've now been at Imperial for exactly 10 months, and I must tell you that before I joined, I always expected this to be a very special place, not least because of its reputation and ranking and being known for a world-leading university. Through these 10 months, as I've engaged with more and more people and been exposed to more and more of Imperial, it is clear to me that it is much more than just that. It is truly, as I have said before, a world-changing place. And why is that? Well, there are a couple of reasons. The first of that being that we continue to attract some of the best students from all over the world, from the UK, but also from all over the world, to come here to actually spend their time and learn. While they're here, they engage with some of the finest faculty, apart from learning from themselves and their peers. And when they leave, they are therefore equipped with the creativity and the scientific credentials that come from this rather unique crucible we have here, which we like to call STEM-B, of all the natural sciences, all the engineering disciplines, and of course business. And they go out equipped with the skills to make a real mark on whatever they choose to do, whatever profession they take up, or indeed whatever enterprise they contribute to. In the last 10 months, I've traveled around the world in the course of my activities, and everywhere I've been, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, China, the US, India, it is so invigorating to meet so many Imperial alumni. And the most interesting fact is they're, of course, in very, very interesting places, having achieved a lot. But what's really interesting is they always have a very special place in their mind and heart for Imperial. And I think that's an amazing feeling as you do and go around. What else? I think the second thing that Imperial has by spades is its contribution to thought leadership. The research work that is conducted at Imperial over time has produced so much path-breaking innovation and ideas and thoughts. And these have, of course, created value for our corporate partners, but also for individuals who have chosen to make enterprises from these. Last year, you heard from President Hugh Brady of the new strategy for Imperial, really building on this very solid foundation and seeking to grow not just the university, not just anything that happens here, but to grow the impact on the world by enhancing the scientific credentials, but very importantly, by building the unique schools of convergent scientific thought and innovation. And not just that, not just creating more innovation, more intellectual property, but ideas like the West Tech Corridor would enable us to harness the power of those and actually solve many of the challenges in the UK and beyond, providing the growth that we certainly need in this country. With that, I'd like to invite President Hugh Brady to deliver his annual address as he shares his vision on how Imperial can contribute to growth. Hugh.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, colleagues, students, alumni of Imperial, and all of Imperial's collaborators and friends. Thank you for joining me today and welcome. Imperial's founding mission, as I never get tired of saying, is to be useful. It's written into our Royal Charter of 1907, and it's what drives us today. In 2025, being useful in the UK means more than anything, growing the economy. As the Prime Minister wrote in the Times last week, growth is the only cure for the disease of stagnation and decline. So today I want to talk to you about what we can do to help as an institution, as a sector, and ultimately as a country. How can we harness the power of science and technology to make the UK a more prosperous and a more equitable place? Now, I'm sure there are some among you, perhaps of a certain age, who are already hearing echoes of Harold Wilson's white heat of technology speech in Scarborough, when he promised to harness the white heat of science and technology to forge a new Britain in 1963. And perhaps you're even thinking, yes, that's exactly what we did. In the 62 years since Wilson gave that speech, the UK universities and science and tech companies have given us test tube babies, CT scanners, Dolly the sheep, MRIs, the Higgs boson prediction, gravitational waves, neutron scattering, graphene pulsars, offshore wind farms, and the first COVID vaccine. The United Kingdom is home to only 0.8% of the world's population, but produces 13% of the world's most highly cited papers. And I'm proud to say Imperial, with its unique mix of science, engineering, medicine and business, sits at the very heart of that success story. Modern Britain has harnessed the white heat of science. We're a world leader in AI, we're a world leader in electronics, a world leader in aerospace, and a world leader in medicine. And that has made us a more prosperous country. Last year, the science and technology sectors contributed 164 billion to the UK economy. That's equivalent to an entire year of NHS England funding. But the truth is, it's nowhere near what it could be. What you mightn't know about the white heat speech is that Wilson based it on a lecture he gave here 8 months earlier, just a fortnight before he was elected Labour leader. Standing at a lectern like this, here at Imperial, Wilson said the biggest barrier to British science was our appalling complacency. We were the nation of Newton, Darwin, Lovelace, Fleming, and Kelvin. But, and to quote him, we did not give science its proper place in our national life. Now, 62 years later, we've made huge progress, but we still have a lot more to do. The UK invests 3% of GDP in R&D. In Germany, whose economy is as sluggish as ours, they're targeting 3.5%. The OECD reports China as increasing its R&D investment by 10 to 14% per year. And the US invests 10 times as much as we do, $200 billion per year. Our 3% is a sign that we need to do more. Now, government spending on R&D has risen in recent years, but it's failed to keep pace with inflation, and we're falling behind our competitors. As Rachel Reeves said in Oxford last week, the UK is at the forefront of some of the most exciting developments in the world. We could be one of the world's great science and tech superpowers. The Chancellor is right, we could do much better. This government's commitment to over 20 billion R&D investment in its first budget last year was a very welcome start. Research on a shoestring, Wilson said, is a threat to the UK's national survival. And investment, as Rachel Reeves says, is the lifeblood of growth. But the UK is small and our finances are challenged. We can never outspend the US or China. So in order to compete on a global scale for the talent, the ideas and capital we need to kickstart growth, we need to play smart, to be strategic and to direct investment where it can make the biggest difference. And here the UK's universities are among our greatest assets. Imperial, as you well know, was ranked second in the world this year in the QS World University Rankings, where we were joined in the top 10 by 3 other UK universities. There are 15 of us in the global top 100. And we deliver an impressive return on investment. Universities UK estimate that for every pound of public money invested in higher education, it puts 14 pounds back into the national economy. The launch of the government's new industrial strategy this spring is the perfect opportunity to set out a long-term national strategy to harness our universities to drive economic growth. It must begin with a laser-like focus on the UK's STEM talent pipeline. Research shows that skills and labour have been the only factor in the UK economy to have made a positive and consistent contribution to productivity growth in the UK since 2007, and mainly has been due to our increasing number of graduates. And the effect is especially clear in science and technology. But the UK's supply of excellent STEM graduates is under threat. Not enough young people in our schools are taking STEM subjects at A-levels. Current UK undergraduate tuition fees don't cover the cost of expensive STEM courses. Undergraduate biosciences enrolments have fallen by 15% in 5 years across the country. And some chemistry departments are closing because they can't cover the costs. We can't afford to turn a blind eye to these trends. While international students have long helped to offset these shortfalls, their numbers are also falling precipitously across the sector. And that poses a triple threat. Fewer fee-paying international students to enrich our learning environment, help power our research and cross-subsidize costly STEM courses. Fewer international founders driving high-growth UK businesses, and fewer skilled graduates for our industrial base. Now at Imperial, we're doing our best to reverse things. Imperial's math school in North London is giving gifted local teenagers from a wide range of backgrounds access to excellent science and maths A-level teaching. We continue to expand our STEM portfolio at undergraduate and postgraduate in line with the demands of industry. A new engineering and business undergraduate program is in the pipeline. And we're launching a major new initiative, the Imperial Institute of Extended Learning, to provide transformational STEM upskilling for industry. But universities simply can't do this alone. If we're to compete internationally, we need a system-wide response to address the crisis of maths and science education in our schools. We must address the higher education funding system to cover costs of STEM education. And the government's upcoming migration white paper must make it even easier for us to attract and retain highly skilled people, both international students and researchers. The Chancellor was right when she said we're in an international competition for talent. When it comes to attracting researchers, we're still very much in the game. The UK is home to some of the world's greatest research scientists, engineers and clinicians, and many of them are here at Imperial. If she wants to experience the sounds and sights of the future arriving, like she said, the Chancellor need only pay them a visit at South Kensington, at White City, at Silwood Park, or on our NHS campuses. At the Imperial Bezos Centre for Sustainable Protein, they're protecting the future food supply. At the Mucosal Immunity and Human Coronavirus Challenge Programme, they're preparing for future pandemics. At our AI for Health Centre for Doctoral Training, they're developing solutions to the world's biggest challenges in healthcare. But the UK should not take its scientists for granted. In order to attract and retain world-leading researchers, and in order to enable them to do their best work, the industrial strategy must recommit to excellence-based research funding and get the funding mix right. Now, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with the UK research funding model, we operate a so-called dual support model. One pillar of project-specific grants awarded through discipline-focused competition by UKRI's research councils. And a second pillar of strategic institutional funding, of which quality-related research funding, QR funding, is the largest stream. QR funding it's a block grant, a research block grant universities receive annually on the basis of a national assessment of research quality that's done every 7 years, the Research Excellence Framework, or REF. Now, believe me, QR is the envy of our international competitors. I know that because I used to be one of those competitors. It gives UK scientists the stability and the flexibility to take risks, to try new things, and to test new ideas. And it gives the universities the funding to make strategic investments in new technologies and facilities. Imperial receives around 58 million of QR funding every year. It supports our Molecular Sciences Research Hub, one of the most advanced molecular science facilities in the world. It supports Future Vaccine Manufacturing Research Hub, whose research produced the first self-amplifying RNA vaccines for COVID. It paid for a Faraday cage at the Centre for Cryomicroscopy of Materials, a unique facility for testing environmentally sensitive materials. Investments like this are the foundations of the whole science sector. We simply don't know where the next great scientific discovery will come from. Remember, it was here at Imperial in 1928 that Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin by accident when studying influenza. So why am I concerned? Well, because QR funding has fallen by 16% in real terms since 2010. This threatens the very foundations of British science. Now, I fully appreciate that when finances are tight, it might seem harder to justify QR funding than targeted research into, say, a cure for cancer. But there's ample evidence that the UK's current strengths in areas such as biosciences, vaccine development, engineering biology, clean tech, and quantum can in large part be explained by the flexibility QR funding gives our researchers. QR funding produces genuine discoveries. Discoveries become technologies and products. These become businesses, and businesses are the engine of growth. The industrial strategy also has the potential to unleash just the full potential of universities as powerful catalysts for innovation and growth within regions and across the UK. I see this potential writ large every time I'm on the Imperial White City Deep Tech campus. A cauldron of leading-edge, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and convergent science in AI, in engineering biology, health tech, drug discovery, and environmental research. A hotbed of startup and scale-up activity, including our dedicated space for scale-ups, Scale Space, a partnership with venture funder Blenheim Chalcott. It's crowding in private investment and commercial partners such as Agilent and Bruntwood SciTech. And it's serving as a magnet for SMEs and big corporates within the wider White City Innovation District. This success is built on a foundation of trust, collaboration, and co-creation with citizens, with communities, and with the support of local government, and enabled by modest but hugely impactful government funding through the Higher Education Innovation Fund, or HIFE. The success of our White City campus has been the inspiration for us to go further through the creation of the Imperial West Tech Corridor, connecting and leveraging world-class innovation assets at Paddington Basin, South Kensington, White City, Silwood Park, and Old Oak and Park Royal. If we replicate the recent growth of the White City Innovation District across the Imperial West Tech Corridor, we will add 150,000 new jobs to London's economy in just 5 years. There are also clusters of innovation all over the UK in high-growth industries, with universities at their various heart and with huge upside potential. Biotech along the Oxford-Cambridge corridor, quantum computing in Glasgow, advanced materials in the northwest. The industrial strategy is an opportunity to build and network these vibrant innovation clusters. And surely it's time to stop pitting regions and institutions against one another. As a relatively recent arrival to UK, I found it puzzling, to put it mildly, to hear the strength of London and the wider golden triangle of London, Oxford, and Cambridge portrayed as a problem. To the rest of the world, the golden triangle is one of the world's strongest research and innovation brands, and potentially one of the most attractive assets the UK has to attract foreign direct investment. Let's use the industrial strategy as an opportunity to reshape the narrative. How do we leverage the strengths of the Golden Triangle and network it to other innovation clusters to create a vibrant UK innovation ecosystem that is competitive with the very best in the world? Because benefits of growth don't stop at city limits. Startups born at Imperial are opening manufacturing plants in Middlesbrough, Leeds, Coventry, and further afield. Our AI superconductor brings together complementary AI innovation expertise from Imperial and universities of York, Leeds, and Liverpool. And we're partnering with the University of Cumbria on a new medical school in Carlisle. It's time we stop pitting institutions and regions against each other and pooled our strengths. The Connected Capabilities Fund is one example of how modest funding can be used to network regional clusters. Why not build on funding schemes that have been shown to deliver when time is not on our side? And pooling our strengths should include our international partners. I've been talking throughout this speech about competition, and while growing our science sector is a national endeavour, the truth is that science is a collaborative effort. Global problems, whether they be climate change, food security, antimicrobial resistance, they require global solutions. But international research collaboration can also yield economic dividends, building greater scale, impact, and commercialization opportunities, bridging innovation ecosystems to create bidirectional flow of talent, ideas, and capital, and over time, helping to pave the way for trade deals and access to new markets. We have an opportunity to build greater collaboration between the UK and partners around the world, both academic and corporate. But at the very moment global collaboration is most necessary, UK funding for international research collaboration was stalled or cut back. The loss of the Global Challenges Research Fund, as an example, has weakened the UK's ability to lead on these issues. Investing more in the International Science Partnership Fund would not only help bridge this gap, but would also serve as a welcome statement of intent, reaffirming the UK's commitment to global scientific collaboration and leadership in addressing the world's most pressing problems. I'm proud that at Imperial we have not been deterred. As you know, we're launching global hubs in San Francisco, Singapore, Bengaluru, and Ghana to strengthen science diplomacy, build research collaboration, and create new opportunities for UK-led innovation. The industrial strategy should build on this work. It should signal the importance of ongoing involvement in Horizon Europe and its successor programme. And it's an opportunity to establish new bilateral funding schemes with the US, India, Japan, and Korea, where even modest funding has the potential to unlock significant flows of international capital. If there's one thing I want you to take away today, it's just how strong a position the UK is in already. There are headwinds facing the sector, of course, but we can navigate those. Our universities are a goldmine of research, of expertise, and vibrant ideas. We're well equipped to face the world's challenges head-on. And climate change, AI ethics, pandemic resilience, these are questions we've been working on already for decades. So I'm going to end my address today with an answer to the Chancellor's recent call to go further and faster to kickstart growth. My answer to government on this is we're ready. We're ready as Imperial. We're ready as a sector, ready to produce great ideas, the best graduates, the best research, the best companies, and the best ecosystems. We're ready to make Britain a science and tech superpower. Universities want to be useful, so use us. Thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, I know you're all hungry, so I'm here to wrap this up. Thank you again for being here today. My name is Camille, I'm the President of Imperial Students' Union. Now, I was a student here, I'm now a relatively fresh alumna, and in my day job as Union President, I get to see the behind the scenes, what keeps the Imperial wheels spinning. Every day that I spend here, I'm reminded that this is a truly special environment. Whether it's researchers leading in their respective fields, the undergraduates on their learning journeys, or the staff who make it all happen, the mix of voices in the room is what gives this place a truly unique sound. Beyond the problems solved here every day, This blend of voices excites me because of the questions raised. Can the world sustain its energy appetite sustainably? What are the limits of genetic modification? Where do we direct the cutting edge of research? As Hugh mentioned, Imperial and other universities play a crucial role in Britain's identity and economy. So understanding future needs, both national and international, is essential to hone our efforts on, or as some might put it, to be useful. Having said that, to maintain its useful position globally and to engage more directly with stimulating growth, perhaps this is not enough. Perhaps Imperial must ask challenging questions not only of the surrounding world, but of itself. Can an institution focused on science and reason continue to engage with companies actively accelerating climate destruction, even while Imperial's own research condemns this? Can Imperial confine itself to the pursuit of science and innovation, regardless of political influences, or is it an institutional responsibility to weigh in? How does Imperial remain an institution focused on education and research when universities today are under so much pressure to run as businesses? And finally, when is the Queen's Tower finally going to be finished? Whilst everyone here who passes through here is taught to question the world around them from day one, maybe we should be asking ourselves some tough questions as well. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and please join us in the foyer for the lunch reception. Thank you.